how you can go about setting your health goals. So we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Please do call us on the number that's displayed on your screen so that we also listen to those nice testimonies that you have, the goals that you've set for your 2025. We need to listen to those. Here is a short break for you guys before we come back. See you on the other side.
Ambuya, are you okay? Thankfully, with the Teledoctor app, you can get premium healthcare from the comfort of your home. With the Teledoctor app, all it takes is a click, and you could not only have a nurse or doctor come and see you, you can also receive specialized services such as nursing and physiotherapy.
You see, Teledoctor aims to make access to healthcare services cheaper, faster, and convenient.
Patient app registration. After downloading the Teledoctor application, to sign in, click on the Sign In button. This will lead you to a page where you can create your own account. Fill in your phone number and email address with a valid email address. Create a new password, being careful to add an uppercase letter, a lowercase letter, a special character, a number, and a minimum of 8 characters. Fill in your names, sex, date of birth, and click to agree to the terms and privacy policy. Then, click the sign up button, which will redirect you to the login page. Fill in your email address and await a one-time password in your email inbox. To complete the 2-factor authentication, copy and paste the number emailed to you and press the login button. Then, welcome aboard! You would now have effectively signed in and are now ready to use the Teledoctor application.
Welcome back. This is a very wonderful discussion. I'm already enjoying it. I don't know about you, where we are talking about the 2025 health goals. So before the break, we talked about on how to set them, to use the SMART approach about it and what it is. So, you know, as we start this new year, as we've started 2025, I would urge you to buy a journal or just even a piece of paper. Write down your health goals for this year and then be ticking as you achieve that. Because remember, Dr. Blessings was talking about SMART, you know, it has to be time bound. So you give yourself, okay, I've set this goal. I want to do away with Coca-Cola because I know most people are addicted to it. They cannot live without it. So they take it like every day. So if you want to stop, okay, you say in a day, if I take maybe 2 bottles of the 500 ml of Coca-Cola, I want to start reducing maybe to 500 ml. So you need to tick if you've achieved that. Any other thing that you plan on doing, achieving in your health, you talk about, okay, I need to visit my dentist. You know, the only time you visit a dentist is when you have a tooth that is already decayed. You have a terrible toothache, and you remember, oh, I have to visit my dentist. But we need to set those goals. You write down, okay, at least I'm supposed to visit my dentist twice in a year. I need to change my toothbrush at least 3 times in a year. I mean, 4 times a year. Every after 3 months, you need to get a new toothbrush. And then if you have OCD, some of us change our toothbrushes almost every month, you know. But some of you have to wait until the bristles of the toothbrush now are looking like an unkempt person's hair. So we need to set those, at least be ticking, okay, I've changed my toothbrush. Okay, you tick in this quarter. You can do it per quarter. You can do it per month. It depends on how busy you want to be, okay? This is about prioritizing your health. We've got so many cases of people just dropping dead. We want to do away with that because there are non-communicable diseases and communicable diseases which are preventable. it all goes back to our lifestyle. All right, so now I want Dr. Telo to tell us about some negative lifestyles,
habits. Yeah, and I think the truth of the matter is we all have a negative
guilty.
And I think it goes back to what Blessings was mentioning, that when we sit down to write, as you mentioned, our health goals, let's just not start and say, okay, I'm going to, number one, I'm going to exercise more, I'm going to do exercise 3 times a week, or I'm going to eat healthy, and so on. I think one of the processes of setting a goal, of goals, is to reflect. I'll say that again, to reflect, because we rush, and our culture, really, we like to rush ahead of ourselves. So we need to sit down, get 1 hour, 30 minutes, where you're alone, and you can think, no disturbances from your other half, or your boyfriend, or your friend, or your bestie, or your kids, whatever. Just say, look, guys, the phone is off on disturb, and just sit somewhere. If it's home, if it's going to a coffee, whatever. So as you reflect, you're going to think back. Okay, so when I think about these areas, how have I done? Like, what did I do? And we'll talk about these areas, and Blessings will add as well. And those are really the areas that we're talking about, the lifestyle. Okay, so the lifestyle for me, I think, basically split into maybe 2 things, 2 major things, right? And it's around sort of fitness, and then around what are you ingesting, or what are you sort of putting in your body. Okay, so I think fitness is the easiest. So it's centered around exercise and what you can do to sort of maintain yourself. So you ask yourself, what have I done? I'll give you an example. I haven't done anything. I remember the yesterday, so I haven't done anything this year. To be honest, man, this year has been bad. I think I tried towards the end, but after like 4 weeks, when the terrible sleep habits, I did not say that thing. Sorry, I need to digress a bit. And that's the thing, when the habits, they tend to affect each other. You see, when I was having very poor sleep, I found that I could not wake up to do the exercise that I needed to do, and then I said, no, I'll do it at the end of the day. But then you're so exhausted at the end of the day that you can't do it, right? So anyway, back to what I was saying. So there's that arm for the exercise and so on. And even on that lifestyle, I think the negative habit of exercise, you can over-exercise. Do we know that?
You can do too much.
You can do it too much, right? So there needs to be a very delicate balance, and how you attain that balance, of course, discuss with the team. We've got, actually, even on the Teledoctor team, we've got a fitness coach who can talk you through. And again, like you said, we're different body types. So we need to know what's your body and what stage and what if you put me in all sorts of exercises, I may not manage. Right? So now on the other side, of course, the other negative, what are you putting in? So I'll start even with sleep. Sleep, you're putting in sleep. So one of the negative habits that, for example, I am also really trying to avoid is poor quality sleep. More sleep, more consistent blocks of sleep as well. So I mean, it depends. There's some people who can function on like 5 hours, 6 hours of sleep, but you need to know, and you only know by reflecting that this is your baseline.
So Dr. Telo, sleep, how many hours is a normal human being supposed to sleep? Like how many hours?
Well, I mean, literature is different, but roughly it's between 6 and 8 hours. That's what it says. But then, of course, for the children, me and children, we have actually different gradings for children. That's why when I'm talking to parents, I emphasize, please, bedtime, you must have a bedtime for your kids, because that's when their brain is developing. So, for example, the toddler into the infant must sleep about 12 hours.
Like half a day?
Yes.
Wow.
So sometimes it will be broken down, but really they should. Then when they are sort of in the, school going age, so about 3, 4, 5, maybe about 10 hours, 10 to 11 hours of sleep. When they're a bit older, about 9 hours. So for example, my daughter who's 9, I try to ensure she gets like 9 hours of sleep. So 20 hours to 5 because of school runs and so on. But roughly that's how it is. So then adults, really 6 to 8. Some people function with 6. To be honest, I function best with 8. But that doesn't seem to be happening. Yeah, so those are some of the negative issues. Then the other negative issues I think we keep talking about is alcohol consumption. We're not refusing that people can drink, but we have to drink in moderation. And of course, there are guidelines as well. So if people can reach out even to the Teledoctor team, we can even guide them. You know, the challenge we have as our country is when people drink, they like binge. Okay, and we can drink, but there's a graduated way that has been shown by literature and science that graduate your drinking like this and maybe if you want to drink, try and drink more of this because it has these benefits and so on and things like that. And literature is there, science is there, there's evidence to that effect. Then of course there's tobacco, smoking. Yeah, that one is really affecting our country. You know, primary smoking, secondary smoking. So a lot of the heart diseases, what we call the cardiovascular diseases, the vessels that are pumping, they are all getting affected by things like smoking. And of course, can't remove the cancers as well. So there are those things as well that would affect negatively. Stress. Blessings of stress type.
We're all stressed.
I think we're all stressed.
Different levels.
Blessings has a different level of stress right now. As he is about to walk down the aisle.
About to.
Okay, welcome to the club.
So you see, so even stress, it's a negative. It's to some extent it's a negative lifestyle. I mean, we have no choice. That's the life we have. We will be stressed, but I think how we manage the stress is very important, and that would take it back to what Blessings was talking about, and I'm sure you add on the mental thing. Then the other things, of course, like drinking enough water, not juice, water. Malango, water. I know you are.
Juice.
Yes. So water. Yes, drinking water well, and then of course eating. All right. So having a balanced diet. Again, it's very easy to just say, "Oh, I'm gonna eat well this year," but what does that look like? It means cutting down things like fried foods. I mean, we can have our famous food that everyone likes. That's chips and chicken that everyone likes. But it doesn't mean like you should have it every time. We should say, okay, once in a while, have it once in a month. Take the kids out, not every week. Yeah, the one day they even know you. My son. And then in the home setting. Having the home-cooked meal wholly, increasing our vegetable intake. Again, we could go on, but I think we really want to give the audience and the viewers just a tip, a kadionko, because the next 2 shows, January really is about helping people focus these health goals, and I think when we speak to some of the experts around nutrition, they'll explain a bit more about that. Now I want to bring in something a bit controversial on the eating. Nanga intermittent fasting.
That one is good, but it's actually good. I feel because I'm giving myself time for food to digest, but most people are doing it maybe out of ignorance. They don't know the benefits of fasting, you know. And then most of the time we want to really just put fasting to the spiritual aspect, where you go like, no, let's fast like this for such and such a duration. But there are also health benefits to fasting. Each time you're just feeding your body, give it some time also to rest and to absorb the other foods that you've taken in. So,
and I think that's why the aspect of some of the negative habits, you find that after breakfast you want to eat something more, you're constantly eating
every 2 hours.
So you find that I think people's the scheduling of meals, I think all that is very important, because you find people are eating people are eating supper at midnight, at 5, wake up, you want to. So I feel like all those are very important negative habits that if we ignore them, they can actually grow into something very big, right? And I did speak on the aspect of social media as well. It's also greatly affecting, because you find that at 05 you're supposed to exercise, but the first thing you do is you go on social media,
and then before you know it, 2 hours
before you know it, 2 hours of, I need to bath, I need to go for weight, and then so you fail to do what you're supposed to do at that particular time. So it's very important that I think everything that we're doing is well timed. And I think that would really help us even in terms of setting goals. That's why it's important to know your baseline, know your social media screen time, So that at least even as you are making these goals, you know, to say, okay, if I reduce on this, I can add in this, because one way to actually deal with negative habits is to replace them with positive ones. Yeah, as long as we just do away with the negative habits without doing a replacement, it's very easy to fall back. Yeah, it's very easy to fall back. That's why it's the aspect of being realistic. If a negative habit, for example, is alcohol, you know that you're taking maybe 8 bottles in a day. If you're not realistic enough, you say, this year I want to just stop completely. Those are the people who you find that they will stop maybe for a month. Then when they go, it's now like they're making up for the 1 month that they meet friends. So there's that. If you're not being realistic, you can like even face bigger consequences. So I think I need to just add to the...
Yeah, and I like that part on the scheduling, actually. I think that's something that over the years, I think many families have sort of, you know, not really done away with intentionally, but because of the so-called busy schedule, you know, the eating at 21 hours, then you sleep just after that, or midnight. Yeah, I will be honest, actually almost fell into that trap last year, you know, because you'd get home so late, by the time you've settled down, you want to eat, it's like 21, you're so tired, you just fall asleep, right? So I think, blessings, that's a very important part, and I want again to bring it to children.
Your passion. No, we understand pediatrics.
Yes. I think as you know, caregivers or parents, we need to do justice for our children, right? Because some of the psychological and behavioral problems we're having can actually stem from just lack of having a structure. You know, wake up at this time. When you wake up, whether bath or whatever your family decides, but there should be some form of structure.
Some form of structure.
You know, just wake up, 10 hours, especially holidays. You know what I mean? I know it's hard, but then, especially the weekend, and then suddenly, no, the kids are sleeping at 21 hours, 22 hours, then you're waking them up at 5, you know, to go on a school run, and then they're dozing in class, they can't focus. Then they have attention deficit, and then you're saying, no, this child doesn't listen, or you know. So blessings, thank you like for bringing that aspect, and I really, really hope that, you know, the listeners there, you know, our parents, caregivers, please give structure to the children during the school, off school, which is the weekends, and the holidays.
The holidays we're in right now.
So they do need some structure, and those habits, they need to start then.
So they grow up with them.
Exactly. Yeah, so no, thanks for bringing that up.
So then the point really is that if you're a parent, you've got a child, you're setting 2 goals for yourself and for your child as well. I think to be selfish, just set your own goals. Then you leave. So it's more like the children also need to help them set the goals as well. So at least you're also helping them achieve some of those goals. And then even growing up, I feel like if once they grow up with that kind of, okay, mom used to wake us up at 05. You know, these days, ladies are actually waking up at 9, 10, 11. And then you find that those days, like I remember my mother used to wake up like at 05. But now these days, like my young sister wakes up at 11. I'm like, how?
Like people will be like,
no, she still has time. She's just in grade 8, so she still has time to readjust.
Okay, that's good.
But speaking about the goals with the children, how early should you start to sit with them, like, and say, you need to make these health goals? I mean, this child is like, hey, I just want to eat what you give me. I just want to run around and, you know, ride my bike or play with my friends.
Or TV time.
Exactly.
So I think I can't say there's really a specific age, but I feel that at every age there's a specific goal that you can help them set, and then you'll be able to build up on that particular goal depending on your child. So that's if they're younger, maybe like between maybe the time they're born or maybe up to maybe about 10, maybe you'll be concentrating on sleep, for example, ensuring they're sleeping early, screen time, because it can be a very big addiction, watching, I think, cartoons and all those kind of things. So you want to help them at least in that particular area. Then as they grow older, we then start helping them a bit more, maybe in terms of even just helping them take some walks here and there, watching what they're eating, at least telling them what is healthy and what may not be healthy. I think those are some of the things that you can start doing early on.
Yeah. I want to take you back to the mental health goals, right? So how do you think this should be set? Like, you know, I can say self-care. But what does it look like, you know? Just any ideas that you may have come up with. or come up?
So if you look at mental health itself, I can say it's kind of broad. Yeah, it encompasses so many things, but I think the cornerstone really of it all is stress management. Like, you need to be able to manage your stress.
Are you managing your stress?
That includes, yes, I'm trying. I'm trying. I was actually on vacation last week.
Oh, nice,
I was on holiday, just relaxing. I didn't even want to spend so much time on social media. I was so I think it's very important. So I think the aspect of mental health itself is quite broad. It's something that we really need to get into. For example, stress management. It's about also looking at how is your schedule like, not ensuring that you're overloading yourself with so much work, trying to partition your work in a way that something that you can easily handle, and like taking everything all at once. That for me, I think, is very important. Then we talk about the aspect of sleep as well. Then we also talk about, if you look at other mental health disorders, like these things like mood disorders, some of these things get to be affected because we are meant to be social beings as human beings. But then once we begin confining ourselves in a particular space where we are alone, we're not interacting with people, I think that can also start affecting you mentally. You become a lonely being, and because you're a lonely being, even I think when it comes to the aspect of accountability, there's no one to really share your goals with. Right? There's no one to give you that motivation to say, oh, you're doing it, let's do this and all that. So I feel like the mental health aspect itself is very broad, and it really also does affect the other. I think they get to affect each other. The mental goals, some are also affect the physical goals, and even the financial goals as well. For example, if your mental health status is not okay, even the money that you want to make, you may not be able to make it. You may not be able to achieve the financial goals. So I think it's important to also understand that these are interrelated and they feed into each other. So you can't handle them in isolation. You can't just say, just be exercising, but on the other end, you're also not achieving certain goals. So it's just important to understand that as you are doing the goals, encompass all the different aspects of health.
Wow.
It's deep.
That's deep.
I know, right? I told you, it's speaking to me.
It actually resonates with me in all angles as well, because poor eating habits. Okay, sometimes supper you have it late because you are working, you are tired, you reach home. The nature of our job has actually contributed, and I think that is what is leading to a lot of stress in our lives. You're a woman, you're a wife, you're a mother. Everything is on you. It's different from men. When you knock off this, you're just going to sit and get the remote, watch whatever you want. I'll go busy in the kitchen, I start cooking, but both of us went for work, So, wow. Anyway.
So another point I think also,
go ahead.
Husbands will help their wives set financial goals, because I think once you understand her goals as well and help her set, even like be helping cooking, you can easily come in while you feel to soak. I think she's being strained here. You can easily jump in, but if she sets the goals independently without like your input, it may be difficult because he doesn't know your goals. So I'll just come and I'll just be waiting for food. I don't know how your day was. I don't know what you're trying to achieve.
Exactly.
Yeah. And actually, speaking about the same, I know our culture is a bit different, but hopefully it's more. I actually have a schedule, by the way.
Okay, what we're going to have every day.
Because I started getting stressed.
Really? So
I always ask my husband every day, what do you want to eat? And that's stressful.
I was getting stressed, like thinking every time. Then you remember halfway through the day, oh, what are we having today? So I just said, you know what? So we just, Sunday, timetable is made for the week.
Better.
So
better
those that are able to pre-cook as well. I mean, I know we've got challenges with power. But, if you have that ability, pre-cook, label, freeze the food very nicely. And I think once you warm it, even on a gas stove, it's actually fresher than, for example, in a microwave. And then just do a starch, for example. So those are some ideas I think we need to be more innovative and more flexible. And more flexible about it,
The only thing that we cook and, where we store it in the fridge is beans, because we know it will take time for it to be ready. So you put in lunch boxes, and then whenever you just want. But the other foods, you say, no, I want fresh ones. But that's a great idea, because it's going to be saving, the time that we're supposed to spend. It's not going to be a stressing thing. It's, let's adopt that. I actually endorse it, So right now we're going to take a break about the ECG 24/7 video, 24/7 video, and then we'll be right back with more intriguing and fascinating facts about why you need to set the 2025 health goals. See you after you watch this.
Symptoms like chest pain, shortness of breath, dizziness or heart palpitations, If so, a Holter monitor test might be right for you. What is a Holter monitor? A Holter monitor is a small, portable device that records your heart's electrical activity over a 24-hour period or more. It's like a mini EKG you wear all day. Who needs a heart monitor? Well, it's often recommended for individuals with known heart conditions. A Holter monitor can also be used for general heart health checkups, especially for athletes or those with concerns about their heart rhythm. How does it work? The Holter monitor consists of a small recording device and adhesive electrodes placed on your chest. It continuously records your heart's electrical activity, allowing your doctor to identify any irregularities. With the ECG 247 app, you can monitor your heart rate and rhythm in real time as you perform your daily activities like showering or exercising. Your doctor can also remotely access your heart data to provide expert analysis. For more information, contact us on 0979-904046 and email us at info@teledoctorzambia.com or search for our website at teledoctorzambia.com.
Right, so as we are winding up now, I know time has really flown. They say time flies when you're having fun, and indeed we're being inspired in so many angles. We're being caught as guilty because we've we're guilty of doing so many wrong things. And we thank you that Teledoctor is here to set those standards for us and to change in all aspects of our lives. So in just brief, Dr. Telo, in your closing remarks, what do you have to tell us tonight?
All right, no, thanks a lot, and it's like I said, it's speaking to me. It's speaking to me, and I think one component of the health goals that needs to come up is the importance of regular medical checks. Like you said, we want to go in we know whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think we need to start the habit, and as early as possible. It shouldn't start in your 30s, your 40s, no, in your 20s. You should start the habit of a regular medical checkup. Get to a clinic, even Woodland Specialist Clinic, one of our partner clinics. You can come in and say, I want to do a regular checkup, and we'll do some baseline, you know, your blood pressure. You should know your baseline blood pressure. You should know your random blood sugar as basics, and of course your BMI. Then the other tests that we can do, for example, females around your hormonal profile, males as you grow older, prostate, females as we go older, we need to do breast cancer screening, cervical cancer screening. So there are all these tests. So set a time in the year. Is it January? Is it your birthday month? Maybe you want to do all these checks, you know, where you just do this array of checks. So we need to be in that habit at least once a year. As Prof is always saying, you know, the cars, you take them to
for servicing.
Exactly. But why don't we want to service the bodies?
Exactly.
You know, and it's as easy as picking up the phone, getting the Teledoctor team on board and doing that. So also these are some of the medical tests that we encourage you to do. So I'm sure Blessings will speak to this, but for every age band, there's certain tests that must come up. Okay? And just to make sure you are in check and doing that. So otherwise, it's been a great show. This is speaking to me.
And I thank you, because it's speaking not only to you, but to all of us. So Dr. Blessings, what do you have to tell us in your closing remarks? What do you want to tell the viewers there, and what do you want to tell me?
I think first it's been an interesting show. I think everything that we have covered is really, I think health revolves around everything that we've talked about, and I think it's very important that even as we are starting the year, people are starting the year on a very good note. So my closing remarks really for me is one, having an accountability partner, having someone that you can share these goals with. It helps you track. So for example, if you're married, it could be your husband. If you've got siblings, it would be your sibling, your brother, or your sister. You share these goals so that they even know to say, Blessings told me that 05 is going to be exercising for this particular period of time. So at least you understand even when you take some time off, and they even help you to say, but I haven't seen exercise today. What happened? So at least that is very, very important. And then also emphasizing the fact that even us as practitioners, as Teledoctor, we're also coming on board. So I think the public really is that you don't have to set these goals alone. If you feel like you're stuck somewhere, you can always call the same number, 1979-904046, and then you can always request to. So now I'm just calling because I want to need help in setting goals.
Want
to just have a video consultation, just to consult, like face-to-face kind of interaction with a practitioner. So we're here to help the public actually set these particular So that is basically what our vision is.
More people making money.
Yeah, definitely. True. Yeah. Okay, so there you have it. We've talked about the 2024 health goals. If you have a challenge with that, please, please, please do not forget to call us on the Teledoctor customer line, 0979 904 and 046 904 046. We are there to help you set all these goals. And as we end, remember, Teledoctor has got a lot of services that we offer. Here, the clinics that we have, are you having a problem with acne, pimples? Do you need to see a dermatologist, or maybe you've got any dermatological condition? Please, please, please don't forget to come and visit us at the Teledoctor in Woodlands Specialist Clinic. We've got all the laboratory services that we offer. You know, if you need to know your blood group and other things that always have to do with your blood counts and everything, just come to Teledoctor. Are you suffering from fertility issues? We've got a fertility clinic, men's clinic as well. It's not just about females. We always have a clinic for the men as well. Talk to us. What are your fears? What are your worries? Just call us on 0979 904 046. We also have the pediatric clinic, you know, Dr. Telo's passion. So do you want to bring those children for under 5 services? Do you need to consult something about your child? Are you suspecting that maybe your child should have a delayed milestone? Look no further, just come to Woodlands Specialist Clinic or call us. And then we also have other clinics, like where you can come and see a cardiologist if you have any heart issues. We have clinics that deal with diabetes, sugar diseases. We have neurology that talks about the strokes and other things that are affecting your brain. Thank you so very much for listening and being with us, and write the resolutions, the health goals, because at the end of the year we want to see if indeed you met them, and if you're having challenges we want to see how we can guide you. I've been your host today. My name is Sister Malango Goma, signing out. Thank you very much and pleasant evening.